Hey everybody! Welcome back to some more Let's Play Armageddon Empires with me, your host Tim. First, this is going to be a preamble here, and you can go down to the comment section to see it summed up along with a link that lets you jump ahead to restart the mission. You should either read that comment from me though, I'll try to remember to pin it, or at least listen to this, because I need your advice when it comes to Armageddon Empires. You see everyone, the patience well is empty. It is dried up. I have no more patience for Armageddon Empire's weighted dice. Nope, I have lost all of it. It's completely 100% empty. I got nothing. Yesterday I tried to record this game for 20 minutes and the die rolls were just being absolute middle fingerish to me, and I cursed and swore like I often do when I'm not recording Armageddon Empires. I don't curse a lot in real life out loud when anyone can hear me. I do it all the time when playing games, and I have no qualms when playing this game alone of reloading the game all the time. Because screw you, game, I hate you just as much as you hate me. So because my patience well is empty, there's only 3 solutions, and if you've watched my previous Armageddon Empires playlist, you know that this always ends up being the case with Armageddon Empires. The 3 solutions are as follows, as they've always been. Number 1, I give myself more reloads. I'm going to go up from 2 to 10. Now, I'm not going to... How should I say? Right now, I'm using the reloads just because I feel like, I didn't get lucky there, we'll try it again. I'll change the reloads to, okay, well, we didn't win, that was statistically about right, we'll continue on, to reloads used when it's obvious that the dice are being weighted against me. So, that's solution number 1. I don't generally like reloading because although I'm not playing Iron Man, I tend to treat the games I play as Iron Man, but that is a solution that will calm down my anger. Yep, my pitiful anger. Number 2, Tim's allowed to curse. I keep my 2 reloads, and when it's obvious the dice are weighted, like I'm sure everyone here has seen the fact that the dice are just roll miserably for me. I walk out of the room and I curse and swear, or I begin cackling like a madman. You may hear, no, I don't throw things against the walls, but you'll hear lots of angry words said in anger. Number 3, and this is what I usually do. Tim takes a break from Armageddon Empires because I need that well to be refilled. Normally, when I take a break from Armageddon Empires, it's like 6 to 7 months before I come back and visit again. Yep, so we're talking around Christmas time, I would start playing this game again. I really wanted to play other factions and try other human decks, but the dice are just... I swear they're weighted against the player. Or at least they're weighted against me, and I have no idea why. So, that's it. That's what I got. So, let me know which one of those 3 options you think Tim should do. Tim needs to do one of them. So that's gonna be it. My vote, I don't really care, I suppose, in the long run. I know you guys really like watching this game, or some of you do. My channel used to have a lot of this uploaded years ago. I know, that's running out of patience now for it. Alright, so with that said, though, no matter what option we pick, or you guys pick, we are going to finish a game of Armageddon Empires with Cults of the Wastelands enabled. So let's do it. Let's get started. Enough babbling about. So the first thing we gotta do is select a deck, and a number of opponents we're gonna fight, and so on and so on. So I tend to like playing the 225 deck level against Cults when I play. But we'll make an exception this time around, and we'll play the 275 point level instead. We're not going to play on normal map size, we're going to play on a huge map as well. This will give the Cult enough time to probably destroy us all. And we have to select the deck we want to play first. We are, of course, going to be using the human condition. And now we'll select opponents. So it doesn't matter who we're fighting, so we'll just select the random opponents. And we have enabled Cults of the Wastelands. This is going to significantly increase the difficulty of the game. So much so that I do not think we will have a prayer of winning this. Generally, the Cults always beat me. but why not? We should show you guys what this option is. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going first. All right, so let's go ahead and lay our tiles. So, the cult's going to be really tricky to hunt down and destroy the cult, depending upon where the game's going to place it. Okay, so we'll talk... Oh, right, and everyone, I'm supposed to explain the game this time around, because I forget the gentleman's name, asking if I could go over the game mechanics a little more. So I will do so. So, right, we're playing a deck. In this game, you create a deck based on a bunch of cards, which are available for that faction. And you also create that deck... so you create a deck of cards you use during the game, and you create I don't want to call it a deck, but you also create a pile of tiles, basically. In this case, these tiles you see here totaled up to be 15 points worth of tiles. You can only go up to 15 points worth of tiles for the game. Now, we find ourselves in the situation where we're starting a new game, and we need to place our tiles that we chose for this deck onto the game board. So to start, we're going to go ahead and figure out where we want to place them. We have to place them in the highlighted green areas here. Generally, I enjoy placing my tiles off to a side. This way, when I'm fighting AI, especially multiple opponents, I don't have to worry about them running into me, all of them running into me, right away. The AI prefers to attack the player, given the choice. I remember Vic Davis or that conversation happening on the Cryptic Comic forums ages ago. Even when the cults of the Wasteland are involved, the AI still prefers to go after the player if given the choice, because, and rightfully so, the human AI, that's us, is usually more clever than the other AI is. Anyway, let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to go ahead and push my starting area out to the side. So to do that, I will take this rock desert, for example, and place it here. That, as you can see, frees up 2 more slots available for future tiles. We'll now set our tile. You cannot remove this tile from the game board. It's not possible. You might as well just hit cancel game and reset your tiles from scratch if you make a mistake here. Now, all of the other factions are going next. Next, we're going to go ahead and place our minefield here. Because I'm placing my I'll be placing one of my my crater base here into this hex. Having it here might hit an enemy if they come from the north or from the west towards my base. They might walk into this minefield here, so I like trying to guard my crater base a tiny bit. Okay, now we'll place our crater base right there. And then we have our staging area last. The staging area I'm going to place back here, actually. The AI will tend... Well, from my experience, AI tends not to, like, circle around your base looking for for supplies. If they know I'm here, they'll kind of walk to the rock desert and try to attack me later, rather than walking to the staging area over and over again, or at least that's been my experience. So we could place it here, or here would be a good spot. We could also place it up here as an early warning system, but given the amount of resources it will take to collect these numbers, we'll explain that when we get into the game, I think we'll just stick it back here instead. Let's set that tile. Okay, now we have to drag our starting headquarter tile, our stronghold, onto one spot on the game board. You always want to place it on a tile which has these numbers, or these resource-producing tiles. You don't want to leave it, you don't want to put it in the minefield. It'd be pretty funny, but you lose immediately. So, because you wouldn't be able to get anything out of your hand. So let's go ahead and put it in the crater base. That should be good. Let's go ahead and start our game. Okay, the first thing that happens in the game is that, and especially, well, every single round that begins, you can bid to go first. The player who goes first gets more action points to spend during the game and takes their turn before enemies get to go. So, generally, you will never see me bid for extra dice. So, by default, you get 3 dice to roll to see who goes first. You need more successes than your opponents to win the roll. That's the case in every single situation for this game. The game manual says that each dice is a 50-50 shot. The game manual is lying to you, is the best as I can describe it. From my experience, the dice seem to actually alter their percentages. Sometimes it seems like it's 50-50. Other times the dice have like a 10% chance to roll a success. I don't know, I don't understand it, I just know it certainly seems to be the case. Either there's something that manipulates the dice, or you're going to end up being horribly unlucky when you play the game. So just be aware of that. I think the game manual is lying. So to get more dice, we have the cost, how much it will take us for any of these resources to buy another dice. So as you can see, at the start, it's cheap to buy dice, only one resource. But that price goes up every single time that you buy another dice, or at certain dice intervals. For like the first 10 or 15 turns of the game, you generally will never see me bid to go first, because resources are more important than going first for the first 10 turns. We'll explain this a little more when we get into the game. Let's go ahead and hit done. Rerolls are, we all tied for first and I go last. How about that? Ties will be re-rolled. No faction has the ability to break ties by some special ability. Okay, so we're going last. I should explain this a little bit more. So you can see the results here. Over here is the order which we are going. The Free Mutants are first this round. Then come the Xenopods, the Machine Empire, and Empire Man for this turn. You can also see the action points that you earn based on the position that you placed. Let's go ahead and hit start round. And now it's our turn. So we've earned 6 action points for our turn. And as you can see, we have all these resources. These are basically the different types of money you spend in the game to play cards from your hand, which you see down here, onto the game board or use them in some fashion to do things. Let's cover these as quickly as we can here, because we actually have we have one of everything, practically, so this is this is a really good hand as well. So let's describe everything we have here. We have 2 aircraft cards. Aircraft cards are used to attack enemy armies that are out in the field. You'll take them, you'll drag them over the place you want them to attack, and they'll make that attack. Now, we don't have enough resources for it, so we can't do anything at the moment. To use an aircraft to make an attack will cost us 3 action points, that's this red number, and 2 energy, that's this. Our resources are humans, materials, energy, and I think science or tech is what this is called. Let's see. It doesn't tell me right here either. Okay. Anyway, resources that you don't spend on your turn are banked, and you get to have them next round. Action points you don't spend on your turn are lost. Action points are whatever you don't spend is discarded, and then you have to hope you go first, or what have you, for the next round in order to play more cards. So you can see that Mata Boyd here is cheap. She's only 1 action point and 2 human resources. The Vengeance is 11 action points, 1 human, 7 material, 4 energy, and 4 tech. We cannot deploy the Vengeance until at least our 7th turn, and we must have gone first in order to actually deploy the Vengeance. Anyway, so let's go back to describing cards. Yes, so these are used to make attacks against enemy armies. Your armies will consist of units, like the Vengeance, the Infantry, and the Tiger. You can see their attack and defense up there. That's how many dice they roll to attack the enemy and defend against an enemy attack. It works kind of like Risk. The more successes, every attack die success more than your enemy's defense die success will inflict 1 point of damage to the thing that you targeted. We'll see that when we actually begin combat. Hit points. Once a unit's hit points is reduced to 0, it is dead, and units have all sorts of special abilities as well. What else is there? Mata Boyd? Mata Boyd is a hero. She is a unit, kind of? Is that right? No, she's a hero. So, heroes don't fight. This isn't like heroes, like Warcraft or StarCraft or Warwind or any games that have, like Dawn of War. No, the heroes in this game lead armies, but they don't actually engage. Tooth and Tail, I think that's what it's called, would be a kind of something similar to a hero, because it runs around, leads your armies, but doesn't actually fight. There are different types of heroes. MoBV-VII is an agent, so she specializes not in leading armies, but in sabotaging the enemy. She also has a bunch of special abilities, which you'll see when we deploy her next round. Your units are what actually fight for you, so our infantry, our Vengeance, and our Tiger tank. Finally, we also have an industrial complex. This is a facility card. Facility cards are deployed inside your facility here, in this case our stronghold, but it could also be deployed into other places like this, on a free empty slot. See how these say not available? That means that we can't deploy more than one facility card into this facility at the moment. You can level cards, in this case our Imperial Fortress can be leveled, and we can unlock additional spaces. We'll cover that as we play. Maybe not this video though. Anyway, the industrial complex produces 1 material and 1 energy each round, which reminds me we should cover that now. So you'll note that we have 1 human, 1 material, 1 energy, and 1 tech being collected. But this hex has 2 materials in it. Well, our fortress can only collect 1 of each. We need to be able to build resource collectors to gather the other resources. And look at this hex down here. This is producing these each turn, but we don't have any resource collectors there to actually get those resources, so what the heck do we do? Well, heroes or engineers are able to produce resource collectors. Unfortunately, we don't have what it takes to deploy MoBV-VII at the moment. We just don't have the action points or the human resources, so we can't really do anything this round with her. In fact, the first round, you'll be kind of very lucky to deploy any cards from your hand to the field. Generally, you might be able to deploy your weakest recon or army units to the field on turn 1. We drew neither, so much for that. Right, so now that I've covered some of the basics, hopefully reasonably well, let's look at our hand and I'll tell you why I think this is a great hand, or at least a good hand. So first off, we have a starting hero. That's always really useful. Granted, she's not a general, so she won't be leading armies, but she does have a command rate of 2, so if push comes to shove, she can actually lead the Vengeance and Tiger in a fight if it comes down to it. We also need a hero to start because we need resources collected as soon as possible. So getting a starting hero, no matter what it is in your hand at the very beginning of the game, is very useful. We have a cheap unit. This is good because it gets us something in our base to help defend it almost right away. We have 2 decently strong units, which are also, that's good to see them. It will be sometime before we get them into play though. And we have an industrial complex. That's also really useful because this generates material and energy, and the materials that this generates, we also collect automatically. So really, really great starting card to get in our hand. We do have 2 air units. I generally don't like seeing 2 in my hand at the start of the game. We might have to end up discarding one of them. You'll see why later. Maybe. Okay, so I'm happy with the starting hand. Should I cover this really quick? Here's the mini-map. You can see kind of the layout of the map here. This is every place that we've been to ever in the game. These are the places we currently have an army or a facility, or we have a reconnaissance strength. We'll cover that when we get an actual reconnaissance unit into play. These are the areas that we have a base or army in. I'm sorry, yeah, so this is our reconnaissance, how much we're able to detect the enemy with, and this is the areas we actually control. Okay, well, anyway, with all that done, let's go ahead and, I guess, spend some action points. So we can't deploy any cards, but you can still spend some other action points. We can left-click on the garrison here. And then, from here, I can create an army. It will cost us 3 action points to create an army. You must create armies if you want to move units or heroes out and around on the game board, or you have to find an army already out there to be able to move them around. Your garrison doesn't count. Your garrison has units in it, but your garrison can't move. So let's go ahead and make a new army called MoBV-VII. That's obviously going to be for her. Next, I think we'll make one more army. Let's make the 140... It's dark in the room. Armored Corps Company. It's dark in the room. There we go. Okay, that's all our action points spent. We can't do anything else this turn. Let's go ahead and end our turn. Hey, going first. Because we go first, we get 14 action points this time. Oh, right, I didn't even look around at the map. We should totally look around the map and see what's around. So, I should explain supply and a few of these other things down here, too. So, first off, the player button lets you see everything about your army. We can see what our supply range is. We'll cover that soon. How many maximum cards we can have in our hand. We have 7. We're allowed 1 more card. The base command rate. This is how many units are allowed in an army without a hero leading them. The Empire Man is unique in that they can have 3. All the other factions can only have 2. The Xenopod special is that I think they're, what is it? Is it their card cost to draw cards? Yes, over here. The Xenopod's special ability is that it costs only 2 action points to draw cards, not 3. Their free mutants have 1 greater supply range of 5, not 4. Machine Empire can have 1 extra card in their hand, so 9 instead of 8. Okay, so... Right, there was something else I wanted to talk about here, but I've completely forgot what it is. Let's go ahead and close it down. Alright, so next, our supply range. These are all the areas in which we are able to have our armies in supply, and we can deploy other facilities onto the map in. If our armies end up out here, they'll be out of supply. An army out of supply that is not a hero and does not have the commando trait will suffer massive penalties to their attack and defense, and also have their movement reduced to 1. It's pretty gruesome, and you don't ever want to be out of supply if you can help it. What determines your supply? Well, your faction, first off. We have a supply of 4. Next, terrain does as well. Different types of terrain might slow down your movement. We'll get to that when we're actually moving MoBV-VII around to show you how that works. Just know that this is while this looks fantastic from our standpoint, like we basically have as much space as we could possibly want around our base, it's also kind of a bad starting area because we don't have too much that can block us for the enemies. This will be nice here to stop the enemy from reaching us. This is a volcano and a city. These require 3 movement points for someone to enter it, so generally the enemy will be slowing down. They'll probably go around these rather than go through them. This is a town, so that will help block us anything coming up north, as well as toxic bog. But there's not a whole lot of anything else blocking any incoming enemies here. I see a city over here at a crater. Probably one of these is the enemy base over in this direction, I would guess. Wow, there's a ton of heavy terrain up north, I see. What else do we have? And not a lot up here. Okay, so I see 2 special tiles out here as well. So one thing I like doing right away is figuring out, well, when I play the game, is where can the enemy reach me? How much do I have to panic? And we kind of have to panic really pretty early because there's a whole lot of empty space up in this area. Now, I also see... Oh, actually, I think there's 3? No, there's 2 special tiles I notice out here, or hexes, as well. So, you can see the mountains. They all kind of look the same. Volcanoes look the same. Some of these look a little different. These are different types of plains, different types of deserts, but these are generally nothing that I haven't seen before. Toxic bogs, I've seen them before. Craters. However, we've got this hex. I don't recognize this hex. I don't know what this is here. This looks different. There's something special there. And this is also special. There's something unique here. So we have 2 special hexes. There's going to be some sort of special encounter in them. So we should plan on trying to visit one or both. One of them probably is the cult. Alright, so with that all said, what else am I interested in? Well, we want to deploy MoBV-VII from our hand into the crater base. So let's do that. So let's actually show you this first. So first off, we can't deploy MoBV-VII anywhere we want. She can only be deployed to a hex that we control. I believe more specifically, she can only be deployed to a hex that has a barracks in it. Maybe I'm wrong, and we can deploy heroes to anything. But I'm pretty sure that they can only be deployed to a barracks. So MoBV-VII has to be dropped into this starting hex like this. You take it, left click, hold down left button, and drop her in that base. She's now in the garrison. She's now leading the garrison's force. We don't want her to do that, though, because we can't move her around. There's no way to do it. So we're going to take her and drag her into the MoBV-VII army. There we go. We could have dropped her in the 144th. Nothing wrong with that. But I like naming MoBV-VII and Valentine Kusanagi. I like naming armies for heroes which are espionage or agents. after themselves because I will very rarely, if ever, give them units. They generally work alone. Now that she's in that army by herself, I can right-click on this, and I get some options. We can move her, or we can stealth her. Metaboid has stealth 6, so she's able to hide, and 6 is the strength of her stealth skill. The numbers in this game will generally go from 1 to 10. I believe only hit points and attack go higher than that number. Fate points can too. We'll cover Fate much later, I think. Just know that Stealth 6, that's pretty decent. That's a good stealth score. As you can see, she can also conduct espionage that lets us spy on what the enemy is doing. And she can also blow things up. She's also a demolitionist, so when she blows something, when she damages something, it triples the damage. So she's fantastic at blowing stuff up. Right. So, the next thing we want to do is, I guess we might as well move her. Let's show how movement works. So we right-click. Oh, actually, we should stealth her first, just to get in that habit. Now she's stealthed. A stealth unit cannot be detected by the enemy unless the enemy has a reconnaissance unit around or somehow picks her up. And it actually rolls... It actually can detect her. So we'll cover that later when we get our first reconnaissance or we see an enemy reconnaissance unit. Anyway, to move her will cost us 1 action point, and she can move 3 spaces. So you can see here all these numbers indicate how many movement total it would take to reach that spot. To reach this spot, for example, would take 3. To reach this spot would also take 3. Places which are not highlighted, she can't reach this turn. She can totally enter the city, but she's got to end her turn at the minefield or in the place next to it. She could enter this town, but she'd have to have started here because it's 2 movement to enter a town. So, to start, because she doesn't have reconnaissance, we're going to be probably very foolhardy and move her out probably 1, 2, like this. So let's go ahead and do so. Holy crap! Oh, you're kidding me. Okay, we found a special location. So special locations are random. We don't know where they're going to be in the game. Let's see what we got here. Oh, wow. It's the Underhive. Hey, everybody. Look at this. I think, isn't this from, what's that game? Alpha Centauri, I think, is what this is from. Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, I think. Anyway, this is a great structure. It would be nice if we could capture it. It's got 12 structure points, so it can take a beating. It's got hardened, so if the enemy tries to strike this with a nuclear weapon, it won't just utterly destroy the place. It's a supply and a barracks, so we can deploy troops here. It also would increase my supply range if I was able to take it. And it produces 1 human, 1 material, and 1 energy each turn. That's amazing. It also has an enemy army in it. We have Humongous sitting here. I believe he's from the Mad Max series. He's got an old Merc tank, some Dune Raiders, and 2 groups of Raiders here as well. It's not a very powerful army, but it's going to be tricky to fight it with the forces I currently have available to me. We should win, but we'll probably take some damage because the dice hate me. Anyway, it's good to know it's here. We want to take it before the enemy takes it, because I don't want the free mutants coming down here and robbing us of this and then attacking my base and just destroying us. Right, okay, so that was movement, and we looked at some enemy army. We've got 11 action points left, so why don't we make another army? And we'll draw a card. To draw a card from our deck, we hit this button. Oh, come on. Okay, we get it's a good card, but I don't like seeing the Imperial keep so early in the game. It's a very expensive card, so you can see the statistics in the window here. It's a supply and a barracks, and it collects 1 of each resource. We could deploy it in the staging area to automatically collect this stuff, but that would be a waste, because it would take 8 turns to deploy it. We'd have to go second to deploy it, and we can get these resources by building resource collectors instead. So, oh well. Well, we've got the action points. We may as well draw another card. Holy crap, a recon. That is amazing. So, we'll probably deploy this in 2 turns. Let's end our turn. We only have 2 action points left. That's not enough to do anything. Going first again. Okay. Now, we've got the points we need to build a resource collector this time. Resource collectors are very important. If you've played any real-time strategy game, or even other turn-based games, which have resources in them that you want to collect, like gold or mana crystals or what have you, the beginning parts of the game are all about starting up your economy. A good, strong economy will let you win the game. A poor economy, well, you're as good as dead. Let's move Mataboyd south, right, and then up to the staging area. There we go. Now that she's here, we can have her build a resource collector. Now, she's stealthed, and stealth units cannot build resource collectors. So we're going to right-click on her, and then select De-Stealth. There. Now, if there was a reconnaissance around here who picked her up, or rather didn't detect her, they now probably would detect her standing in the staging area. We'll go ahead and right-click on her, and now I have the options to build any of these types of resource collectors. Remember that heroes of any type or an engineer can do this. An engineer is a special keyword that some units possess. Anyway, in this case, because it takes 2 materials to build any of these, or rather it's these 2, we're going to start by building a materials team. Then we're going to re-stealth her again by right-clicking. Oh, right. To bring up that menu, by the way, I right-clicked on that card, on her card. I'll do it again next turn, so you can see. There's nothing else I can do but make more armies. We might as well make, like, 1 or 2 more, I guess. Oh, right. The Alpha Squadron. I totally got the name of that incorrect. I want it to be called the Alpha Section from Beyond Good and Evil. It's been a long time since I played that game. We might as well keep making armies. Like, can't technically hurt to do so. Now, these armies that have no units in them, if an enemy was to walk into this base, they would immediately destroy all of these armies. They would just be wiped out instantly. To be fair, if an enemy walks into my garrison, we've lost anyway, because they'll just immediately claim it. We have no defenders in it. Probably in 3 more turns, I'll get my Imperial Infantry in there to at least give me some defense. It will take a while, though, because we need the resource collectors first. Yep, you gotta wait. Okay, going 3rd. Okay. We could deploy the Imperial Recon, but I think instead we're going to... Oh, we have to unstealth her. We will instead build a recruiting post. Now we're going to get 2 human resources each turn. We will now re-stealth her again, and just end our turn. I'm not going to spend the points on another... Oh, come on, Tim, you really should just keep dropping them. Might as well. They get thrown away at the end of the round anyway. And if you don't spend them on armies now, yeah, you might as well spend them while you got them, because you're going to struggle to go first or even second later on in the game. Okay, now let's go ahead and unstealth Mataboyd and build the other 2 resource collectors. We'll build an energy team and a tech team. We'll then re-stealth Mataboyd and move her around some more to see if we can find anything else out here. We're looking for more hexes like the Underhive, or we're looking for hexes like the staging area that have resources in them. It's a bit dangerous to move Mataboyd around like this. Generally, the AI is starting to move around recon units to see what's around their starting areas, and they could detect her and immediately capture her, and that would suck. You see the Machine Empire really wants to go first. And we'll do so. We're going last. It's very important for me to get the Imperial Infantry out on the board. But we'll wait 1 more turn and deploy the Recon instead. Our Recon will get added to Recon Dust. Okay. We have Reconnaissance unit in play now. How does Reconnaissance work? Okay. So, you see how this says S5R1? So right now our recon has scanned everything around us with a strength 5 reconnaissance check. It rolls a number of dice. This dice roll is invisible. You will not ever see it. And anything around it makes a check on its stealth. The strength of the reconnaissance is lowered by the amount of movement points that the hex consists of that's doing the scan in. So for example, or the amount of movement it would take to get there. This unit is a strength 5 reconnaissance check, or well, the crater base requires 2 movement to get into it, and so I think that this is a strength 3 reconnaissance check in this hex. It's a strength 4 reconnaissance check in these hexes because it's 1 movement to get there. The R1 indicates it has a strength 5 range 1, which means it has a range around like this. A range 2 would be all of these hexes and these ones and the one it's in. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's go ahead and stealth dust and begin moving them around a bit. I'm interested in seeing what else is around our starting base. I want to see what's inside the city, so we're going to go ahead and move there. We're going to move up to the rock desert. What have we got? Rad zombies. 3 rad zombies. You'll note that we're not under attack. This is because our unit is stealth. If I was to unstealth the recon, we would immediately have to fight the rad zombies in combat. And the recon is not meant for combat. With only 2 attack, 2 defense, and 2 hit points, these rad zombies would annihilate it. Especially because they're in a city. Units in a hex gain a number of bonus defense dice equal to the movement cost of the hex -1. So, for example, the volcano requires 3 movement to get into it. So units in here get 2 extra defense dice. An arid steppe or wasteland require only 1 movement point to enter them. So there is no defensive bonus in those. Let's go ahead and move our Metaboid about a little bit more. You'll note Metaboid's out of supply. Well, she's a hero, so she can be out of supply and everything will still be okay when it comes to her movement and statistics. Okay, let's go ahead and... Oh, our industrial complex is ready. But I need the Imperial Infantry in our base first. Let's do that. Now there's some defenders there. Also, you'll note there's another materials here. So I'm going to begin moving Metaboid back to our base to be able to build a resource collector there. Kind of slowly, though. Next turn, I'm going to deploy the industrial complex. We got a few more points. We should move our recon around. I hit continue there because I don't want to stop my movement. Let's see what else is around here. So, we got some materials and attack. Oh, right, I should have explained this right away. Towns and cities generally will have supplies in them. Rather, are resource-producing hexes. So we wanted to see what was in here anyway, and I intend to attack them later on in the game. That's all we can do this round. End our turn again. Going third, let's deploy our industrial complex. We're now getting 2 human, 3 material, and 3 energy, with 2 tech each round. That's a respectable early game amount. We'll move recon around. Your army has discovered a squatter's camp. You may choose to de-stealth to claim it, remain and observe it, or continue on your way. So, hexes can have several things in them. They can have a unique location, like the Sansiri Mounds. They can have an area like the Abandoned Town or the city here, which is just a hex which has resources. Sometimes there's a defender, sometimes there isn't. They can also have just a one-time resource gift, which is what this is. Let's claim it. And we'll gain 7 human resources for this. They get added to our total here. We'll now re-stealth dust. You can also find technology in these places, which is why you want to begin looking for specials immediately. Our army has discovered an old battlefield. You may choose to de-stealth to claim it, remain and observe it, or continue on your way. We will claim it. We get 5 materials. It's a bit dangerous, though. Mataboyd is exposed because she's not stealth, and we have no action points to re-stealth her, but I really wanted those materials. Let's end the turn. The local Imperial Intel group has received several reports from supply caravans of a huge and mutated creature wandering in the Wastelands. It seems to be the focus of some sort of sacrificial cult activities. Okay. Hey, isn't that the odd? That's the odd thing here from Occult Chronicles. That's the odd, what's that called now? What's this called? Clipboard? Clipboard. Okay, so this cult is rather interesting. Every, I want to say, 20 turns, 20 or 30 turns, a member of this cult is going to show up at our base. And he's going to say, hey, why don't... That's a nice base you've got there. Be ashamed if some large creature were to show up and attack it. Why don't you give me some of these resources? And they'll indicate the resources that they want. If you don't have or don't give him those resources, in several turns, the thing shows up. And it is strong. Very strong creature. If you give them the resources, well, it won't attack you. But it gets stronger. This will continue until you cannot afford it any longer. It wipes everything out. So, it's a really nice cult. Of all the cults we're going to get, I think I like this one the most. It's very unique. Now, we have resources to deploy a Vengeance if I'm willing to risk spending a tiny bit, and I think we will. Let's spend 2 resources and see if we can go first. It's a good roll. And we will. Okay, we're immediately going to deploy the Vengeance into our crater base. Nothing is as important as that. Oh, right now at least. Done. The Vengeance is one of the humans' best units. With 10 attack, 8 defense, it is very powerful and pretty resilient. Has 14 hit points, so it can really take a ton of hits. It also has multi-target, so it can split its attacks, though I rarely do this because the die rolls hate me. And it has critical damage. Every point of damage it does twice as much damage. The AI in this game doesn't ever remember that when it tries to save its units. And often this will be the death of a unit it went all out to save because it didn't anticipate it. Right, anyway, let's go ahead and move Mataboyd a bit. We'll stealth her. Should have done that first. And then we'll move our recon around. The recon's not a hero, so I want to keep it in my supply. If I end up out of supply, it will only be able to move 1 space, and it will be reduced to 1 attack and 1 defense. I think it's -3 to your attack and defense when you're out of supply. Might be -4, though. Well, we might as well keep bidding at least 1 more human resource each turn. Going 3rd. Mataboyd will move back into the crater base. Mataboyd. Oh, will de-stealth. She will then build us a resource collector, materials team. And we'll re-stealth her again. Alright, we should look at all the cards as well. Haven't really looked at them, have we? So here's the materials team. Yep. Awesome looking pictures here. See the scrapyard. Scrapping. All sorts of stuff. Here's our cool looking industrial complex producing all the energy and pollution. Oh, look at this. These two things look like they belong right next to each other, don't they? Like this is the edge of the of this. Hey, it kind of fits in there, doesn't it? How about that? Here's a cool stronghold with all its guns and stuff like that. Has a bunch of stats here. We'll cover them when we get attacked. We have our infantry, looking like Imperial Guard. We've got our cool-looking Vengeances, like BattleTech stuff. All right, we have 2 action points left, and we should move our dust around a bit. There we go. You can move out and back into supply without any trouble. You just don't want to end your turn out of supply. Let's end our turn. We'll do this. Ooh, bring it, Xenopods. Darn you. Going first. That's okay, though. We still have enough action points to deploy our Tiger. Tiger, Tiger, Tiger. Let's go ahead and deploy it. Bam. Next, I'm eager to go do some fighting. And we've got some units that actually might be able to win. Maybe, assuming the dice don't utterly hate me. So we're going to actually try this a bit. We're going to de-stealth MoBV-VII, and we're going to give her a unit. We're going to give her the Vengeance, I think. There we go. Now, it's going to be 2 movement to move this, not just 1. This is because it's 1 action point to move an army per thing in the army. So if per unit, plus hero. So MoBV-VII is 1, she's the hero, and she has 1 unit with her, that's 2. So it takes 2 action points to move her. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll move her into the minefield. This is a friendly minefield, so it will not attack us. Let's end our turn. 9 more turns for us, everyone, then we'll call the session. We might as well bid at least 1 human resource each turn to go, first. Going third. Look at the free mutants. They were really eager. Oh, crap. I actually want to go after the Sinceri Mounds. Well, it's too late. We're going to go to the Destroyed City first. Let's go ahead and use Dust. Just checking to see what else is around here. We'll now move MoBV-VII into the Destroyed City. Actually, before we do that, we're going to save the game. Let's go up there and do it. Let's attack. Oh, attack and delay. Attack means you want to do the combat right now. Delay means once I hit end turn, resolve the battles. So we could actually delay, but I want to spend action points to build another resource collector here this turn. So we're just going to go ahead and hit attack. Okay, combat begins. If you have multiple armies listed here, you'll use these arrows to assign the order. Armies up top will be engaged in the battle before armies down below. Stealth units will have a special icon over here. You do not have to commit stealth units unless the enemy actually detected you with that stealth unit, in which case you will need to assign it. In any case, let's go ahead and hit start battle. So, first you got to place your units on the board. Well, we've only got 1 hero and 1 vengeance, so they must be assigned like this. MoBV-VII herself, notice that she has no attack. She has some defense, I think. What's her defense? Oh, I don't know it. I don't know what her defense is. Okay. How does she avoid taking hits? Anyway, so, right. MoBV-VII has no attack, so she won't be doing any damage to any of the enemies during this. It's all up to our vengeance to win the day for us. Let's hit ready. Who gets to go first? Round initiative is decided, obviously, each round. We're going to go first, and then all 3 rad zombies will go. That's the end of round 1. You'll note that there's no way that the rad zombies will go first. This is because we are the attacker in this case, so we earned 5 points just for that. Our hero does not have aggressive, so we don't earn any aggressive bonus. She does have a command rating of 2. You get extra. Your numbers here are your command rating divided by 2, so 1 for her. She has 5 fate. Those will also be added to her initiative, and she's ready to go. The enemy has nothing, so haha. All right, now this is where things go usually very bad for me. So, rad zombies, they're not that strong with 3 attack and 1 defense, but they have 2 extra defense because we're fighting them in a city, and they have wave attack. They get +1 attack for every other rad zombie that's up here. I think we'll use a combat attack, and we're gonna assign. Do I want 2 strength 5s? Do I want to risk that? We'll risk it. Let's start this up. Okay, so we've hit him for 2 damage. However, because we have critical damage, that's 4, and we kill that rad zombie. You'll note the rad zombie's attack is now lowered by 1, because there's 1 less rad zombie present. Let's attack another one. Okay, so we didn't actually harm it. We could spend fate points. If you're the attacker and you fail to damage the enemy, you can begin spending fate to reroll dice on a 1-to-1 basis. We won't kill it, so unless I spend all my fate, I think. I don't think I'm that lucky to get 2 successes, so I'll just hit accept. Oh, right, I should also explain a little more. Well, let's hit accept. We'll cover fate more often when we get involved in the battle versus an enemy army. Aha! Rad zombies. Not so rad now, are ya? I said that. Hey! Didn't take any damage. Didn't lose my vengeance to this. That's surprising, game. Very surprising. So, after the first round, you have the option to retreat. The defender will have the same option, but this is a blue unit. You can see because it's got the blue X here. The unit was blue, the army. This is basically a neutral unit. It doesn't belong to any faction in the game. So, they're never going to retreat. They're going to stay and fight for their home. Good for them. Unfortunately, we need the supplies. Let's try a strength 6 attack against this one. Holy crap! Annihilated. 4 attack left on this rat zombie. Oh, hey! Nice! We won! Holy crap, game! What the heck? Thank you for being so nice today. Army defeated. This also earned us a little bit of experience points, which we can't see here. The more experience that the army becomes, the more fate points I believe it will have. That was a pretty easy battle. Anyway, let's go ahead and build a team here. Let's build another materials team. We have 1 action point left. With that, I think we'll move... Oh, we already moved our recon. Let's just end our turn. You'll note my hand is almost empty. We really need to spend a turn and draw a ton of cards. I can't find the points to do that at the moment. She will bid 1, 2, and 2. Okay, Metaboyd. Let's build another tech team. We'll go ahead and move the dust around a bit. Army discovered an old battlefield. You may choose to de-stealth to claim it, remain and observe it, or continue on your way. We'll claim it. Gaining 8 materials and 3 tech. We will re-stealth dust. We will move Metaboyd out. Here. And leave her there. I want to hit the abandoned town next turn. I forget what's in that, though. That might be exciting. With their leftover points, I think we'll draw some cards. An elephant, the second, or perhaps first, depending upon your preference, best unit in the game for the... Well, for the humans. There are some neutrals you could hire to join your army if you can find them out here. The ogre is a magnificent tank. But this one's pretty good. You also have the God Soldier that humans can build with technology, or science genetics. There we go, genetics. But that's not, there'll be some time before we even get that option. An Intel Center! Hey! So this is a facility card. As you can see, this gives us an AP bonus of 2. It also will add 1 to help us to the facility level to help these places defend against enemy espionage or sabotage attempts. We'll cover that later. Just know that this is... I love seeing one of these early in the game. Let's end the turn. We won't have to bid as heavily to go first if I'm getting bonus action points each turn. Imperial Dogs. Your hour of judgment has come. The Great Cabal commands you to offer a token of your devotion. You must pay tribute if you wish to live. The Great Cabal demands 6 units of humans be brought to the location, grid coordinate 8 easting by 7, where they will be consumed by the Great Cabal. What is your answer? I think we will agree. You have chosen wisely. You will be allowed to live. For now. That is the enemy. That's the Colt. Pretty epic. Pretty epic there. So, I don't think we had to actually bring it, but he did mention where we had to go. I just don't remember. 7 by 3? I think that was here, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, maybe not. I'll have to pay attention next time. I think this is the cult location, though. Can we get close to that? That's too far away for us to easily make it there. Okay, so let's keep moving dust around. Next, we're going to move into the after we save the game, we're going to move into the abandoned town. Cannibals, okay. These won't be that tough. Let's attack them. They will have some more defense dice, so I think they'll have 4. 4. Remember, this is a town, not a city, so they don't get 2 bonus defense, only 1. Cannibals have Berserk. Every time we wound them, they're going to get +1 attack, but -1 defense. They get a little stronger, but with 3 attack, we shouldn't lose the Vengeance to them. Let's go ahead and start it. I think we'll just blow them up. Okay, 1 down. Oh, MeBU-II actually has +1 fate in this battle. She had 5 fate last time. Now she has 6 for leading the army a tiny bit. Vengeance, destroy them. That'll still do it. Thanks to critical damage. Woo! We just avoid a point there. Trying to gnaw on our Vengeance's foot. Oh, we don't kill her. And I can't spend fate because I actually damaged her. So that's not allowed. Yeah, 1 point of damage. Can't spend any fate to increase it. Oh, that was magnificent. She was really hungry. Maybe she reached in and actually gnawed the hand off. So she did. Bit the face of the driver on that. Very lucky roll. Very unlucky for us. Oh, look. We failed to damage her. Well done. She's really nimble. She's leaping wow! Leaping all over the thing. Just chewing off great bits of the metal. Unfortunately, the armor, it was too tough for her that round. Very close, though. Very close. So let's do it again. Combat attack. Kill her. For the love of God, kill her. She's destroying you. Well, she did 1 point damage. All right. Got her. Next, we'll go ahead and build that materials team. And then we can end our turn. We're getting a lot of resources, so we can bid quite a few to go first. Wow, 6 materials. That's amazing for this stage of the game. Oh yeah, here's our tech team. You know, moving tech around. And where's our energy team? Oh, we don't. Oh, wait, it's down here. Oh, nice solar panels. Hey, those are practically required in New Jersey by like 2025. Gotta have like 30% of all the homes having them. I'm babbling. All right, we got the points we need. So, I want to deploy the elephant. We might as well. It's a perfect opportunity for us to get it into our base. Let's do that. With our leftover points, we'll begin moving MeBU-II back toward the base. And continue to move our dust around, our little recon here. Hey! Supplies! We'll want those. Launch point left, that's not enough to do anything. End our turn. Okay. We could walk in here to fight, but I'd rather have a general lead the army. We'll probably want another unit with MeBU-II, though, if we want to go move in there. Let's move back to the crater base with her. And we'll move dust around a little bit. Army has discovered a nomad caravan. You may choose to de-stealth to claim it, you may not observe it, or continue on your way. I see a new... I've never seen that before. I want to see what that is. We gain 2 human resources. Let's re-stealth dust. Here he is. The Great Cabal. 45 attack. 7 defense, 8 resistance, multi-target, can't be confused, disabled, or disrupted, neurotoxin. This thing is a nightmare to fight. Holy crap on a stick. He's also got regen 1. However, so he regenerates 1 hit point each round. It's my belief it doesn't look like he's immune to a nuclear weapon, though. A tactical nuke could kill him. So there's that. I see nothing a monster with an appetite. Look at that. That is an amazing picture. Ah, gorgeous. That is what we will have to kill. I believe its hit points, its regen, and its resistance go up every time it's fed. So there's that. There it is. Just sitting there. Its movement is 1, so I don't know where it's going to go next, but it's sitting there. It will not, to my knowledge, walk up and attack us. Okay. Why don't we deploy the intelligence center? Oh, we can't. We have no spaces available. So we're going to right-click on our Imperial Fortress and upgrade it to level 2. That now makes the Imperial Fortress a little better. I think we gained 1 point of anti-air, a little bit more hit points, maybe a point of defense, and we unlocked another slot. Now we will deploy the Intelligence Center. This will give us 2 bonus action points. How did I know I can level this? Well, do you see the number of upgrades? That's how many times you can level it remaining. We can level this place 2 more times. We can level the Intel Center twice. We cannot level the Industrial Complex. We have 1 point left. We have nothing we can really do for 1 point. Let's end our turn. Okay, I want the Sinceri Mounds. Let's put an army together to do it. So I think we'll add the Tiger Tank to Mataboyd's army. There we go. Oh, right, I should explain this too. It's free to move units from your garrison to an army, but it will cost you points to move a unit from a unit to a unit. From an army to a different army, or from an army to your garrison. In this case, it will cost us 3 action points to do so. Let's move Mataboyd a little bit. We'll move her right here. Then we'll move Dust about a bit. Looks like this thing's staying here. I thought for sure it would be in this hex, so that's interesting. With our leftover points, we will actually increase the Intelligence Center once, because I really want it at level 2. At level 2, it gains 1 additional action point, its hit points go up a little bit, and it gains Sniffer 5. This thing, basically, acts as a full strength 5 recon in this hex. I think that ignores the terrain bonus it would stealth units would gain. The humans, in my opinion, have one of the best intelligence centers in the game. All the other factions have their own versions, but they're all slightly different. Okay, we have 3 action points left. We'll draw a card. Firebase is not, it's not bad. This is basically, it's another facility, but this isn't one you deploy in your base. This works like the Imperial Keep. We could deploy it out here somewhere. However, first off, we don't have the action points to do it. Next, we can't do it there anyway, because I don't think we've got... Oh, how about it? It's blue. Okay. We don't have the... we don't have a hero there. We need a hero or an engineer on a hex to deploy the fire base there. We will be interested in using this to extend our supply range somewhere, though. Probably should put it in the abandoned town, I'm thinking. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's end our turn. A few more turns, everybody, and then we're done. Been a very relaxing game so far, I have to say. Yes, suck it, Xenopods. Alright, let's move into that Sinceri Mound and do another battle. Let's save the game as well. We will attack Now, because this time the enemy's actually in a city, we have the option of what we want to do. We can lay siege, in which case after, I don't know the amount of turns, after so many turns, the enemies in here would lose their defensive bonuses, and they'd be considered out of supply, making them even weaker. Or we can attack them straight out, in which case the enemy would gain, I think, a one defense extra die because they're behind a wall, basically. They're in a city, or I'm sorry, a facility, and they'd also gain the bonus of this hex. This looks like this has tunnels, so the units would also gain another 2. So they gain 1 extra defense dice because of the underhive. They gain 1 extra defense dice, that's 2 total, because it's a badland. It takes 2 movement to get in here. They also gain 2 extra because of tunnels. So we want to lay siege because this will lower their attack and defense. But I have a hunch the enemy's going to come after me instead. When you say lay siege, the enemy gets a chance right then and there to come out and meet you in combat. I guess they can always do it anytime they want, but in this case, they're totally coming after us. So let's click OK. And start battle. Now, in my opinion, the siege is actually, it's generally pretty, well, as a unit who's trying to use defensive positions in a city like this army we're about to fight, I don't really see why you wouldn't immediately attack out, other than you might have a strong army walking around that could come back and save you. Otherwise, the defensive bonus you'll get will be countered by the penalties you'd receive once the siege begins taking its toll on your defenses. You'll see about that later. So this time around, you can see that we're the defender, we're not the attacker. Even though we attacked this hex, we said we were going to lay siege. Humongous decided, I'm going to attack you, friend, and out he comes. So he gains 5 for the attacker. He's aggressive. He gains another 4. He's got a command rating of 8, so he gains 4 extra points there. He's got 4 fate. He definitely gets to go first. He started with the Merc tank. Let's see if it can damage my Vengeance. And it does not do so. Next. Unlike the last battles we've done, we will alternate who goes first and who goes second. This is the way most combat works. The last time it did not work that way because we only had 1 unit. So, it's a bit better for us now. I'm interested in killing the Dune Riders next. They're weaker than the Merc tank with 3 hit points and 2 defense, but they have flank attack. You see, we don't have anything in our back row. And we were, oh, I didn't show you, but we are unable to put something in the back row. You must have an equal amount of units on the front row, or more units on the front row than you do on the back. Though, I'm saying the wrong words. The cards must be equal to or greater on the front row to the cards on the back. So we already have Boyd, we have 1 Vengeance, so we can't deploy the Tiger here. And we would need another unit up here, like our Tiger tank, and then we could deploy our 3rd unit onto this hex. I'm babbling. Let's go ahead and use our Vengeance. And we'll make a strength 5 against this guy. He blocked 2 hits. We hit him for 4. That will still destroy the Dune Raiders. We actually hit him for 2, but remember, critical damage. We'll now attack the Raiders over here. And we'll make a full strength 5 attack. Ooh, we still kill him. How about that, Humongous? Wow, very unlucky for you. Where he's licking his axe. He's going to try to bed it into the foot of this Vengeance, and he does not do so. Oh, right, damage. By the way, everyone, you'll note our Vengeance is still damaged from the last fight. We have to bring it back to a supply, I think, in order to heal it. I totally should have done that, and I did not do so. It's just 1 hit point, though. The Vengeance should be able to withstand that fine. Our Tiger tank next, and we'll attack the Raiders. And we kill them. Next round. Merc tank starts off. Nice try, Merc tank. Not successful, though. Our Tiger tank, by the way, I should be describing it a little bit better. It has shock attack, so if it had damaged a unit but not killed it, that unit would have gained this check mark. This is committed. Basically, the unit has had its turn. So this is useful for damaging an enemy that you know you can't kill, but you don't want hitting you. It basically stuns it. You can continuously do so as well. Breakthrough is something I'll show in when we actually are fighting a big army on the other side. Alright, Mana Void. Let's just go ahead and try to kill it with our Vengeance. And that will not do so. 2 hit points left. Tiger tank. Tiger, tiger, tiger. Yes! Destroyed. Hey, very good. We probably won't capture him. And we don't. He gets away. We don't have a unit that's able to capture him either, so that just won't happen. Okay, so we've picked up the Sinceri Mound. That's fantastic. We're now getting 3 human, 3 tech, 4 energy, and 7 materials each round. Let's leave an army in here to defend it. I think we'll leave the Vengeance, of all things, in here. We'll also repair the Oh, that's 5 action points. No, we can stay damaged at the moment. Let's move... Oh, Mana Void already moved? Oh, maybe we will be doing it then. Let's continue to... use our Dust. Looking for enemies. And then... actually, I guess we will heal it. Let's do so. And we'll draw a card. Cornelia West! Another hero. But she's not a general either. She is an administrator. She, as you can see, makes it cheaper for us to draw cards if she's in our HQ. She also adds 2 to the die to any technology or genetic card rolls. She's actually really good at helping you develop science or technology or draw cards. I will deploy her, which could be a big mistake this early in the game, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm always nervous dropping administrators very early in the game onto play because an enemy assassin could show up and kill her very easily. But we'll take that risk. Oh, it costs 5 action points to heal the unit. The action points it costs to heal a unit depends upon what type of unit it was and how much it was damaged. So 5 action points to heal a Vengeance, that's probably the bare minimum it would cost. The Vengeance was heavily damaged, it would cost us action points, materials, tech, and energy, or stuff like that. Oh, I'm going last. That's a shame. Oh crap! The Xenopod army is here. A Gangrel has shown up. Uh-oh. The Gangrel is a Xenopod unit. This is our first enemy AI-controlled army showing up. The Gangrel is a very powerful unit. It actually is not a weak reconnaissance. It's got 7 hit points, 5 attack, 4 defense, stealth 5, strength 5, range 1 reconnaissance, and commando. It is a fantastic unit. I'm going to want to kill it, and that's going to be really difficult to do. We're going to move the Vengeance... Oh, no. I shouldn't do so. Let's move our recon... Oh, we can't. The AI is still making its turn. So the enemy will stop and destroy resource collectors as it enters spaces like that. I love to kill it, but it's going to be really difficult to do currently. We're going to move Mana Void back toward the crater base, I think. Actually, before we do that, let's move Recon out of its current area. I don't feel like losing that. It might have been detected from the Gangrel. It would have been strength 2 in this area, but we could have rolled really poorly. I'm going to draw a single card. Rangers. Those are nice. Let's move Mana Void out after all. And I think we will deploy the Rangers. Rangers are our answer to the Gangrel, or rather, they're our equivalent, I should say, instead. They have 6 hit points, 4 attack, and 4 defense, so not quite as good as the Gangrel. However, their stealth is 4. The Gangrel doesn't have stealth at all, I think. Is that right? Oh, the Gangrel has stealth 5. Okay. But they also have strength 6 reconnaissance, which makes them pretty good at detecting enemy units. We could deploy them now to this base, or we could draw 2 more cards. I think we'll deploy them. If this unit moves here next turn... What's its movement, by the way? Oh, 3 movement, too. Wow, that's fantastic on it. If it moves around the crater base, we will detect it. Hopefully it moves into the minefields and I'll be able to wipe them out, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna make one more turn, everybody, and then we'll call it a session. That would be the gangrel. And of course our minefield didn't damage it at all. It's out of supply though. What? Is it? How? It has commando. Oh, it was a fluke. All right, we want to kill it. I don't know how we're gonna do that though. Unfortunately, we have to go first next turn because MeBU-II's too far away. Oh, I guess we could. Okay, we can do this. What's your command rating? 2? I'm gonna use one of my reloads here. I would love to kill that thing. Oh, where's my... Oh. My autosave? I don't want to autosave. Let's see. LP save in-game. Okay. So, let's go ahead and move Cornelia West into the infantry division. Actually, let's draw a card first. Oh, War College. Okay. So, now we're going to go ahead and move Cornelia West into the infantry division. We'll move the Tiger tank into it. And the Rangers. We will move MeBU-VII into the crater base. And let's move out the the infantry squadron into the ash plains. And we will attack. Have to get lucky to kill it. Have to get very lucky to kill it. But we'll make a try. I guess a full strength 10 is probably our best bet. No. 1 damage only. Oh, well. That was a nice attempt, I suppose. It just thankfully doesn't damage us, though. And then our Rangers can attack it. Probably won't damage it. You never know. 1 more damage. Now they will run because he knows he's no match for this against us. For 2 more damage, we need 1 more round. We have the points. We could try making it a attack with a Nightwing on it. Let's save the game and see if we can get lucky. No, of course not. All right, let's end our turn. Actually, we should. Yeah, we'll might play 1 more turn. I'd love to kill that gangrel if we can. I'm gonna reload. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna reload. Can we find it? Nope. Screw you, game. I'm reloading. We're gonna redo all of it. Why not? We'll use one of my 2 in-game complete redos to redo this. Let's try attacking you again. Two damage. Almost got it. A little better this time. I don't want to spend human resources because the cult took human resources, so it probably wants human resources. That's a lot more like it. Okay. Can we kill it with a Nightwing? Let's give it a try. I see 1 point of damage. Come on, Fate. Yes, there we go. That will do it. We might as well spend another point just because. Take it, Gangrel. Oh my god, so frustrating. Next, we will move Infantry Squadron to the destroyed city, where we will have to remake those resource collectors we had earlier. With our leftover points, we will upgrade our facility another rank. This will give us possible room for the War College if I desire it. We could also deploy the War College into the Sensory Mounds. It does have a free spot over here. We have 2 action points left. We should end our turn. I think we'll call it at the beginning of the next turn. everybody. That will do it for us. Thank you guys for watching. So one of my 2 reloads is used. That's bullcrap. Xenopons, I hate you. Alright, so not bad. So let's summarize what has happened. So we've got some good starting resources coming in. We've got more over here I want, but I mistakenly moved MoBV-VII in this direction. Actually, it wasn't a mistake because we got something in here to help us defend it. We have discovered where the enemy is here. Apparently is where the big, horrible cult is located. We'll need to kill it at some point. We got some good units out in the field, but no really strong armies at the moment. And our base is looking pretty good. We have a decent amount of resources coming in. We're now in the mid-game already. Like, early game is turn 1 to 20. Mid-game is like from turn 20 to, I want to say, like a 50. And then anything after 50 would be late game. Actually, probably more like turn 35 or 45 would be mid-game. In any case, we're done. Probably next turn we'll begin moving Infantry Squadron 45 back to the base. We will get MoBV-VII back into her own army so she can walk around and explore. We'll move our dust around. MoBV-VII will come over here to begin making some resources. And we will keep drawing cards and hope for a better more units. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching this one. Remember to tell me what you think I should do, which option you'd like for Tim, and down below. And take care, everyone.